once asked a police officer how old he was. Got pulled over for speeding. It was some guy who was clearly in his 20s, but looked like early 20s. I thought it'd be a cool talking point. Oh, hey man, how old are you? It was not a good talking point. Guy had a chip on his shoulder. He was also pretty small in stature, so apart from looking young, he was also a tiny little police officer in the police force. So you could just read the insecurity throughout his body language. And he had this name, I can't remember what his first name was, his last name was something like Gooberwine. Something just begging for you to make jokes about it. And you might be like, oh, don't disrespect the police. This guy was like a huge D-bag. Like he came up hostile to the window, and then the age question made it so much worse. He took me from just speeding, and I think he had something else on there. It was like speeding, and then he added some other thing, but then he added 2 more things. It's like, I don't remember how the law works in America. This was in Dallas. No, I think his name was like Weinenberg. Weinenberger. It was something, yeah, that's what it was. It was like Weinenberg or Weinenberger. It was a young guy. This is 2017, so it's 8 years ago. If you're in Dallas and you know a police officer who would now be around the age, he told me he was 24 at the time. So right now he must be like 30 or 31, somewhere in that range, early 30s. Officer Weinenberger, you were the worst police encounter I've ever had in my life. It was like a stereotype for how bad police officers are. It was right outside of Dallas. It was in the Dallas, DFW, Fort Worth area in Texas. I want someone who's watching the channel and happens to know this guy to help deliver the message. That was one of the worst police experiences I had in my life. You turned what was supposed to be 1 ticket into a reckless driving, which is like a higher category of crime for anyone who's not from America. And it made my life so much worse. It wasn't just like a $500 to $600 ticket. It's also classified differently in the legal system, like a misdemeanor. I think that's what it is, a misdemeanor. I did end up hiring a lawyer who was able to help like knock some of the tickets down. He took 2 of them off and it took away the misdemeanor charge. But the guy did it just because he was like angry at the stop. And you know what I will say? I'll add this to the story. When he asked, why were you going that fast? I decided to be honest. I've always like tried to downplay things, and that feels kind of like sneaky and roundabout. I was like, you know what? I'll just tell him the truth. And I said I felt comfortable at that speed. And it wasn't like an insane amount over. I think it was like a 65. I guess we could look up the ticket. I mean, it may be more like egregious than I'm describing it. But I think it was 65 miles per hour right outside of Dallas on a highway. I was going like 81. So I was like 15 or 16 miles over, which is a decent amount. It's not like a small amount. That's a lot over the speed limit. And I said, yeah, I just felt comfortable with that. And I'm speaking like this, by the way. I'm speaking in the tone that I'm speaking now. I wasn't angry. I wasn't being loud. I wasn't being aggressive in any way. I would kind of just lifted my hands at the steering wheel and I was just comfortable at that speed. And he goes, you were comfortable? You were comfortable at that speed? You know I can arrest you right now, right? I remember that so clearly. He goes, you know I can arrest you right now, don't you? And I was like, I mean, yeah, sure. Drew, you are an officer. I'm aware that you have like legal, like governmental authority. What am I supposed to say? I was like, yes. Like that had to be a response. Anyway, he is what gives police officers bad reputations. I still remember it 7 years later.